So, since the person who runs Yu-Gi-Oh! But AI is taking a break, we have two brand new, lovely other people who are also doing this. We have cards made by an AI, which is pretty cool, and cards made by an AI with human help. I want to do a video on both of these, so let's take a look at it and let's see what they have come up with. First up, we have Blue Eyes Retribution. When this card is activated, you could target one Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Once per turn, if a Blue Eyes monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you can negate that opponent's monster's effects, if any, until the end of the damage step, and if you do, your battling Blue Eyes monster gains attack equal to the negated monster's original attack during damage calculation only. If a face-up Blue Eyes monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you could send this card to the graveyard instead. This is actually a really good card made by AI with human help. This is actually very strong, very balanced Blue Eyes support, and honestly, I could definitely see that being a card in the future. Next up, we have Sword Soul Spires. Sword Soul monsters you control cannot be used as synchro material. Well, once per turn, you could target one Sword Soul monster you control, reduce its level by 2, and if you do, banish one Sword Soul card from your hand or deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Sword Soul monsters. Outside of floodgating yourself, this is actually a really useful card because if you can get rid of the copy, you can instantly make level 6 synchro monsters, which is actually very useful, or get multiple of your Sword Soul monsters' effects triggered. After that, we have Cosmic Dreamweaver Aquarius. It is a light level 7 spellcaster synchro effect, one tuner, one or more non-tuner monsters. Once per turn, during each player's turn, you could target one other face-up card on the field. Place one dream counter on that card. Card with dream counters on them are unaffected by card effects except their own. So making everything a Towers-like card is very interesting, and in my opinion, having a synchro like this is very interesting. After that, we have Prehistoric Pandemonium Pristine Rex. It is a rank 8 light dinosaur monster. Two level 8 monsters. Once per turn, you can attach one material from this card, destroy any number of cards on the field up to the number of dinosaur monsters in your graveyard. And if you do, this card gains 300 attack and defense for each card destroyed until the end of this turn. If this card has an Evilzar monster as a material, it gains the following effect. Once per turn, quick effect, you could target one card in either player's graveyard, banish it, and if it was a monster, this card gains attack equal to half that monster's original attack until the end of this turn. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and is sent to the graveyard, you could special summon one level 8 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions. For having 2700 attack and 1700 defense on a monster that gains attack is very, very useful and very good. Now, afterwards, we have Bizarre Burst, continuous spell card. During your main phase, you could discard one card in order to target one monster you control. That monster gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn, but it cannot attack directly this turn. Also, during the end phase, its attack becomes 0. Quick effect, you could target one face-up card your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn, but during the end phase, your opponent draws one card for each card effect negated by this effect. If this face-up card leaves the field, you take 2000 damage. That is a lot of words, but also very, very good. Very prominent, very wonderful card, and in my opinion, definitely would be worth running in certain decks. After that, we have Worm Ether. Level 2, flip effect, light reptile, 0 attack, 1200 defense. Flip. You can add one worm card from your deck to your hand except Worm Ether. Once per turn, you can target one monster on the field, change its battle position, When this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one worm monster in your graveyard except Worm Ether special it in face down defense position. You can only use each effect of Worm Ether once per turn. Worms definitely do need support, and this isn't it. I'm sorry. Next up, we have Galactic Orion Gladiator. Level 4 Dark Machine. Effect 1500 attack, 1000 defense. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target one Orion monster in your graveyard except Galactic Orion Gladiator. Add it to your hand. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon one Orion monster from your hand or graveyard except Galactic Orion Gladiator. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. This is a very good card, and honestly, I definitely wish that they would generate more cards to go along with the archetypes, but this one is actually I really like. Next up, we have Illogical Enigma. Normal spell card. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you could target one monster with 1000 attack or defense on the field. It gains 500 attack and defense. But it loses 500 attack and defense, then its level and rank becomes a sum of its attack divided by the original attack. Also, while that monster is face up on the field, banish this card, and if you do, shuffle this card into the deck. If this card is banished, you can activate this effect, negate the effects of all face-up cards on the field except Illogical Enigma until the end of the turn, then return this banished card to the hand. You can only use each effect of Illogical Enigma once per turn. Now, this is definitely an interesting card because you activate it, you target a monster you control with 1000 attack or defense, it gains 500 attack or defense and loses it, then its level and rank becomes a sum of its attack divided by its original attack. So it goes, that would be a lot of levels. Becomes the sum of its attack divided. Okay. Holy hell. God, my head hurts now. Next card, we have Armed Eyes Volcanic Dragon. It's a level 7 Fire Dragon effect, 2000 attack, 500 defense. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target one Armored Eyes monster you control, equip this card to that target as an equip spell card that gives that target 700 attack and defense. When an Armored Eyes monster equipped with this card destroys a monster by battle, you can special summon this card from your spell and trap card zone, and if you do, this card gains 700 attack and defense. You can only use each effect of Armored Eyes Volcanic Dragon once per turn. This is a really good card to extend out into if you need a little more damage on the board, and also could utilize as another material for main phase 2. In my opinion, this card is really good. Next up, we have Bobble-Headed Bouncer. It's a level 3 Earth Warrior effect, 900 defense or 900 attack, 1800 defense. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 3 or higher monster your opponent controls, return that card to the hand. If this card is targeted for an attack, you can change the battle position of this card, and if you do, your opponent takes 900 damage. During your main phase, except the turn that this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add one level 3 Allure Warrior monster type monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Bobble-Headed Bouncer once per turn. This is a very fun and gimmicky card. I really like it, and honestly, I cannot wait to see if there's more Bobbleheads coming out in the future for this AI. Next up, we have Aurora's Radiance. I love the sound of that name. It's very, very cool. Activate only during the battle phase. Target one face-up monster on the field. Until the end of this turn, it gains attack equal to the combined attack of all face-up monsters on the field with the same attribute as the target, but it cannot attack directly this turn. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card and one monster from your graveyard, draw one card. You can only use each effect of Aurora's Radiance once per turn. Big beefy beater, and it gets you a draw one. Definitely a card I would run. And finally, we have Whimsical Wurmling. It's a level 2 Fire Dragon effect, 0 attack, 1000 defense. It's a worm, but it's a dragon. I love this. After that, if this is normal or special summoned, you could add one level 4 or lower dragon type monster from your deck to your hand. During your player's turn, if a dragon type monster you control is targeted an effect, or for an attack, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard. That monster you controlled gains 1,000 attack and defense until the end of the battle phase. You can only use each effect of Whimsical Wormling once per turn. So you could say that this is just, you search out any rocket, any chaos dragon, anything really. So that's one thing for certain. I really like this card. It's really, really good. And I think we're going to go finally with this one actually. Death Harvester in the Darkness. It's a level 8 dark zombie spirit effect. 0 attack, 2500 defense. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by tributing one monster you control with 0 attack. You can only special summon Death Harvester in the Darkness once per turn this way. Monsters you control with 0 attack can attack your opponent directly. Each time a monster with 0 attack attacks your opponent directly, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's level times 200. Once per turn, during the end phase, return this card to the hand. This would help Ojamas immensely. Being able to attack directly, you do 400 damage per poke, and plus this does 1600 on top of that. So you're mostly doing pretty decent damage. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards made by AI with human help, hit that like button down below. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye.